Hello and thank you for watching my video. This is another in the series looking at the dungeons of Guild Wars 2, and this is the Crucible of Eternity Path 2. Always seem to get the Citadel of Flame and the Crucible of Eternity mixed up because they're both C of, you know, there's C of E and C of F. But anyway, we're starting off where I'm just going to say this is not one of the best runs you'll ever see me do. I do get the brunt of the damage that is given out to me more than anyone else for some reason in this party. I think I was leading a lot. But anyway, you can see I'm doing significant damage. Again, as in P1, you have the same dungeon at the beginning. And you're going to see me die by this champion. Again, as in the P1, he does significant damage with his leap finisher, which you'll see how much damage he does. I'm the only one who dies in this part. Again, it's not great for this video, but I wanted to show you guys not always perfect. There you go, look at that. That was like a one-shot and a downed kill. He hit me for 14,000 for the first, and then 14,000 again. That was just insane how I just got taken out. He just targeted me. But as you've got this champion. My guys tried to res me, but it's better off the four of them just killing him. I've sped this up just because you don't really want to hear the downs music. But 28,000 damage in 4 hits, you know, technically, but it's a double hit each time. He does cause significant damage. I mean, my whole party's downed here. Actually, I forgot about this. My party gets down, but because we've got 3 warriors, they all have vengeance, and they all rise and they manage to defeat the boss. So yeah, a couple of them die after vengeance, but there, it's the life of a Berserker rally, as my party member says there. This dungeon, again, you know, the Crucible of Eternity is a medium-length dungeon. You can tell by the length of this video, compared to Sorrow's Embrace Part 1, Citadel of Flame Part 1, Ascalon Catacombs. This does take a little bit of longer time, but obviously if you've done all the short dungeons and you need the tokens for this, this is the ones you want to do. You want to try and give Spire here a little bit of a speed boost because she's so damn slow and you take ages waiting for her. Just try and give her a bit of a speed boost. So we're doing the teleporter here. Again, you know, up to this point, it's still exactly the same for every path. What changes though, the subject alpha has a slightly different attacks, I believe, in each path. Particularly path 3, you can see here the AoE attacks that we got here. You need to dodge out the way, otherwise they will cause heavy damage to your party. The idea is you wait 2 seconds, then you dodge. That's how I do it anyway. I see those AoE, 1, 2, dodge. Except I didn't. That's a little bit of an example there. 1, 2, and dodge, and there we go. So we evade. That's how it should be done. Do not do the bit where I just died. So as we carry on, again, 1, 2 seconds, then dodge. And remember, this part Alpha doesn't need to be defeated 100%. He, you know, he vanishes away because we fight him several times during this dungeon. There isn't really much positioning. The idea is just to stack on him and hopefully defeat him. Again, we're in the same area. We have the aquarium bit, and then we get the golem bosses, or the golem elites, sorry, and we go through the laser net. So exactly the same for all 3 paths. Everybody seems to know what they're doing. We do have quite a high DPS, obviously with 2 elementalists and 3 warriors. This is again a pug group. Oh, sorry, a pug, because it is a pickup group. And you know, again, this is exactly the same. We stack over in the same position as we have done on path 1, and we will again on path 3. I'm nuking down as much as I can. I'll try and pop my ice bow to launch ice storm. You can see I'm doing some pretty heavy damage, sort of 5,000 damage. I think I was spiking there. Yeah, I mean, the elites, they're not too difficult to really take out. If you're all stacked up, you can stack that might. You can see the amount of might that we've got here with the 3 warriors and 2 elementalists. We really do get a hell of a lot of might going on here. And although, you know, since a recent update they did negate some of the damage, it's still significant. So what you'll see here again, this is the console bit where one person has to, well, 2 people have to jump through. We've already got that. I've skipped through it so that you don't have to wait for that again. One of my guys still tries to make it across, and I don't think he did actually. I think it was just lag he was having. So there we go. We've managed to disable the security, and we run through. And I believe this is where it begins to differ. I'm just trying to remember, which part, because up to now you're still doing the same path, and I believe it's here is when it sort of splits off into after this bit is when it splits off. So again, we have this golem that we've, the turrets, and unfortunately we don't have a mesmer or the ability to push the golem into the two turrets that you really want to wipe out, are the protection and the retaliation turrets. So fortunately, having 2 elementalists, we're able to do that pretty easily. Well, I haven't taken out the retaliation one yet. I think one of our warriors is just going to do that. What's the elementalist? Just watch out. I will point out I didn't realise how much damage that static field does, because I wasn't really concentrating at this point. I was just doing a few other things, and I just kept dodging, and I didn't realise it was hitting me for 5,000 damage each time. And they see me walk straight back into it. I thought I was just getting stunned. I wasn't paying attention at all. Again, these dungeons, if you do them a lot, you do want to have something else to sort of, if you do them regularly, as I dodge again into it, I was doing multiple things. I was sort of playing on my phone, watching TV. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, you can get a little bit monotonous, and you just want to sort of take it easy. Have a few distractions going on, just to keep your mind, keep it fresh. And sometimes you do want a little bit more of a challenge. You can see my other elementalist has gone down. And these are so squishy in this, but look at the damage we're getting here. We're hitting it multiple times for 4,000 almost 5,000 damage, multiple times. We'll wipe out those turrets, because you won't, the retaliation can kill you pretty quick. But the protection, you'll notice I'm doing a bit less damage, because obviously the protection negates a third of the damage. Again, the static field knocks me down, but the boss is dead anyway, so... And again, it knocks me down, so I really did not enjoy those static fields, and this is where I actually realised is over 6,000 damage these static fields hitting me for. I hadn't run, before I was making this video, I hadn't run this dungeon in a while, because I've been concentrating a bit on the PvP side, and I thought I'd show you guys. This isn't a perfect run, and I hope for you guys that are pretty new to the dungeons, you're going to see that, I've got a fair amount of achievement points. I've done this a number of times. I'll still mess up, you'll get the pro players that, they're hardcore, they'll do this in 10 minutes. I'm just taking it easy, being a bit casual, messing up occasionally, it does happen. It doesn't make me a noob. I'm just really not focused completely on this. But I like that. These are the things I want to show you in the video, the fact that it does happen. With this point, we've got the laser to defend. So the idea is that all these golems will spawn out, they'll suicide run towards the cannon. It just takes 1 or 2 shots to take them out, and you'll get a couple of elite golems spawn. You really want to take them out ASAP. Have a couple of people by the cannon defending against all these golems. You can see I'm getting a lot of for my sigil for precision. It's really sparking up, because every one of these I kill, it increases my precision, and again obviously means I'm doing more damage. So it's a good way to build up. If you do have a sigil that relies on killing enemies and to get the boosts, this is a very good part to get a lot of boosts. So here we go. One of our guys was apparently eating an apple. That's why he was a little bit distracted, and we're trying to defend the cannon. Ideally you want warriors with great swords, because they can do a lot of damage. We took really big hits here for the cannon, and this just hasn't really happened to me usually on runs where this amount of damage gets done to the cannon. But I will point out now, around 93%, you want to get in position to leave the room. So here we go, we've got 94%, and we have to get to this point over here, because what will happen, the laser will fire, we'll get the chest, and you must run through. It is extremely important you're there ready and you run over to this point here. Why should we run over here? This guy. You do not want to fight him. He is a bit of a beast to fight with 2 elites as well. If you run through and stay in this point, you will not fight them, and that is the whole point of this this position here. You wait till they pass and then you move on. That's pretty crucial for this part of the dungeon, otherwise it's going to kill the run that you've been doing. We get a nice bit area here, lots of enemies, plenty of loot to go on for. You can see I'm doing a lot of damage. You get a few elite, you want to dodge out of the way of those sort of plague, undead plague guys, because they were plague abominations, because they do a lot of damage. More undead here, just easily defeatable, you know, nothing special about these mobs. The next bit here, we get a few elites, specifically the Wraith. He's a bit tricky because he does a lot of AoE damage, and you'll see here, we decided to stack. Wasn't a great idea, which was a bit stupid. That Wraith really does, you know, he steals a lot of health from your guys. Fortunately, we managed to get a few kills off some of the other guys. But yeah, these undead are a little bit more tricky than the guys down below. And what you're going to see here, I'm actually doing this with, I said it was a pug group, I do apologise. One of the guys is actually is in a guild with me. You know, you'll see the guy with dude. Normally, where I am here, you stack. However, these guys decide not to. And I was getting a little bit annoyed at this because I decided to just let them see. I wanted to see how this was. Alpha subject Alpha would do a lot of AoE damage, and the idea is you stack against this pillar so you can just dodge pretty quick, simply, and you get it over and done with. You stack for the might. These guys, you can see me getting a pretty bit agitated. They're doing their own little thing, sort of, you know, trying to kill the Alpha. But in the end, I decided, right, I'm going to try and do it. You know, again, if you look, the dodging, it's a 2-second then dodge, not for the sort of the elementalist weapon style thing, but you do 2 seconds then to dodge those AoE. I'm just trying to think what the elementalist skill. I don't usually use Scepter, so that's why I'm not a bit sure about that. But you know, we're doing quite good damage, and again, it doesn't go down all the way to 100%, so you don't have to worry too much about killing him all the way down. Again, you know, that's the Dragon's Tooth, that's the skill. So it's the Dragon's Tooth skill that he does. You'll see me get a private message from one of my guildies saying what the hell is going on. Yeah, anyway, so we've done that bit here. So again, I gave them a little bit of a warning because they were just doing their own thing. This is what you get with you know, a majority you know, pickup group. You got guys that won't really, you know exactly what to do. I was just getting fed up at this point. I decided to sort of have a quick, you know, run on myself. I let them sell reds. And you'll see my guys give an unflattering opinion. I was just busy reading his message, just why I didn't see the hound. I was like, oh, this could be a problem. Res off the volatile blossoms, they're very useful for that. And you try and heal up. So obviously this is the bit where you're into the green zone of the dungeon. This is where obviously Mordramoth was first hinted at. You know, the evolved husk. The way this bit works in the dungeon, you get these rifles, and there are these golems, and the idea is you press skill 1, and you can see there it sort of dazes them, or it puts them under your control, and you have to, you know, when you've got them under your control, they then head towards the evolved husk. You can see it here, and they explode and they damage the husk. Now the ideal way is I do it over this area in particular. I'm trying to find a set, you know, sort of away from everybody else. You want to wait for them to spawn. They spawn at the sides as I try and kill one of these patches. But you want to wait till they come out completely, and then you want to just fire on it. So you can see one of them's come out here. I'm firing on it now. He's running away a little bit, which is a bit annoying. We're trying to, you know, it's still a bit odd how, you know, sometimes they react, sometimes they don't. All the while the husk is trying to damage you. I would advise having one person going around killing all these thorn patches. As you can see here, the bomb golem is going to come out, and now I'm going to attach, sort of go for it. Might have done it a little bit too late, but here we go. Yeah, it's a little bit too late. I'm going to try it again. Yep, okay, so he's got him back, and he's detonated, and he's damaged him. It's the only way you can damage the evolved husk. So again, I'm going to wait for him to come out. Here he comes. and he stopped there. So now I hit it with the gun. Didn't quite go all the way, so we're going to try it again. And this time he does, and we damage him. It's a very simple boss to defeat. Once you know how the exact strategy, we'll do it again. So with the wait for the bomb golem to come out. I'll fire at it. Try and drive it forward, and almost did it completely. And we'll try it again, and this time we get it. So relatively straightforward. It did take me a few dungeon runs to fully get the strategy behind it. I was just firing at it straight away. But if you want to wait till it stops running, it comes out a little bit, then fire at it, and it should be relatively straightforward, as you can see how I've done it here. And that should be it. So the husk has been defeated, and now we get to fight Subject Alpha for the final time. So as you can see here, I mean, it's not been a perfect run. We're 15 minutes in. I think you probably could have taken off 3 or 4 minutes, just if you were in a much better group. And so, you know, again, it could be a lot quicker. You notice here we're all stacked up in this particular area. This is where you want to do. You want to have someone pull out Subject Alpha to this position here, so you can dodge forward. You roll into the wall so that you just stay stacked up. And you can see here, you know, he's launched the AoE attacks. I dodge. You can see the evasion. Not everybody dodges. As you can see, we've got a downed colleague. 1, 2, and dodge. And you can see that that's how you evade his the area of attack effects. The AoE effect, you know. I don't know what I'm saying here. But anyway, these are the damage he does. It's pretty significant. You do want to avoid it. It is relatively easy to avoid his attacks by counting 2 seconds and dodging. And yeah, I mean that's all you need to make sure. Don't dodge for anything else. I do have skill 4 on my fire staff, so I do have an emergency evasion to back up. But stacking here, we're having no problems here. You know, not really. He does put someone in crystal form like that. Make sure you attack it straight away. But that's it. Relatively straightforward, a few hiccups along the way, but I hope this has been a guide that you guys will find useful. If there's any other comments you have, obviously it wasn't a perfect run, but I hope for you guys it will make a lot more sense, and if you're new to dungeons, it's going to be a useful guide. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you on the next video.